problems. It was the writing equation from table notes. I just updated mine a little bit to make one multiplicative. I think, right?
Multiplicative, yes. Multi.
And so there's one of each for the bottom parts when they practice on their own. So y'all can take one and pass it around.
I'm going to take this out. Or, yeah, not this one. Add the new one in there. So are there any questions on how to teach anything next week? I know student teachers, you're kind of taking over as of this is your unit to teach. Do you have any questions on like how to introduce coordinate planes? Any questions about key vocabulary?
I don't think I have any.
You okay? Awesome, thank you.
I redid the graphing from the table practice, which is supposed to be the last day out of that entire packet for you guys. I pretty much just scrapped the entire thing after getting some feedback. I need to go back and change the third page again because they're supposed to be finding the rule based on the relationship between X and Y. And I didn't make it a very good rule, so I'll have to go back and change that. But everything else has been changed pretty much completely. But it's supposed to be more linear than what it was whenever I originally made it, which was a lot more scattered. So I just wanted to update that and give you guys what my updated version was.
These look good, these new tables from graphs. I remember last year we fell in after like a week or so, we fell in, I think when we took our common, I remember us talking, their lines a lot of times will not have the points on there for them. So we need to make sure that we're not giving them, like this is perfect for like a first time they see it, but we need to make sure as we're going, eventually they're gonna have to find those points themselves because there won't be any on there. And I remember our kids struggled with that.
But we also need to at least do a couple of examples where they're not given a blank table because they're gonna have to make their own tables too. So after we start teaching it for practice on their own, we need to keep in mind that they're not gonna be given blank tables sometimes.
And I think going throughout this, whenever we're talking about graphing, a question that we should repeatedly ask, is it proportional or is it not proportional? So if it's, I think you two know, but if it's proportional, it's going to go through the origin 0, 0, and it's going to have to be multiplicative. Whereas if it's not proportional, it's going to go pass through either the y-axis or the x-axis in a different spot there.
It has to be multiplicative.
With all the sheets that they just shared, did you, like speaking to the student teachers, did you guys work out each problem yourself?
Yes.
So you can anticipate might be some stumbling blocks for students?
Yes.
Since I just scrapped it and I just redid it
You're
last
gonna
night,
be on
I'll be on that.
All
And I'll also be on it for all the other.
Because it's always good practice to never put something in front of the student.
Especially the first time, yeah.
For sure. I've done it right. They've all learned, see?
And I think something too, like we on Monday we have our PACE day, and so I think something good is that I think sometimes at least I fall out of going back to referring to my PACE day documents, but especially I know Chris went over with you two like misconceptions. So if you really, I would study that because the more that you're knowledgeable on what students may not know or what they may get confused on, I think that's really going to help in your teaching to not miss certain things.
That way you're ready to answer the questions before they even ask them.
Yeah, and that's always can be the role of the cooperating teacher as well. While they're taking the lead, you're kind of filling in those gaps as you see that they're moving on through the lesson.
Question.
Teach and assist.
Exactly. You have the lead and you have the support.
But I think, are there any other questions on kind of day-to-day?
I have next week's go time, but
Okay.
I don't have to pass that.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna have to bump mine back. With me being out most of this week.
Are you saying for the unit 6, 7? Or?
No, the go time, mine.
Oh, okay.
I've got to still focus on proportions and ratios with me, because I've only called small groups just today and Tuesday, and
I think I'm gonna have to do a little bit more spiralling with that too.
It's hard to rush through that.
It is hard to
Yes.
do it.
Yeah. Because especially with
Yeah.
ratios and proportions, that's
Uh-huh.
the big one.
I
And
know.
I want to make sure they have a good grasp on that.
I'm almost debating if I want to use next week to do the
I
proportion.
think I'm gonna still do
I think
that.
so.
Now,
Looks like consensus here.
I know, sure, I think y'all got it last year, the ratio proportion review. I think I sent to Izzy, so it should be on there that I made for Think Through Math. That's what I've been having the kids do this week. So when I'm pulling up my small groups, they're on Think Through Math working on
But,
getting those lessons done.
the paper, I put 3 on there this week, cause I know decimals, or fraction, decimal percent, and ordering is, that's a TK in my class, it has a lot of discrepancy.
Mhm.
So the first page is more for the kids who still struggle on converting, so I really focused on decimal fraction, and I put some percents on there too. And then the back of the first page is more how they'll typically see it, like word problems. So they have to take the fraction of decimal and percent out and then convert. And then the second page is comparing and ordering. So they're still converting, but now they have to take that information and actually order it.
I think that's good that it ties in.
So it's kind of
And I
how
like-
you want to use it.
And I like this too. It's funny that my regulars are really good at this. We really drove it home. But number 5 and number 15 killed my springboard on the fraction decimal percents when they did that. I had so many people mess up. They're writing 1 and like 1, they wrote it whole crazy. They wouldn't write it as a mixed number.
Mixed number, yeah.
Yeah, they were getting today with that.
So they really struggled with that. So that's a good teach piece to go back to those small
So
groups.
then you ask yourself, what are you gonna do this time?
Exactly.
That doesn't happen.
Mhm.
I just remember that because there's a lot of us like, what are you doing? It's like, they see 130%, they're not writing 1 and 3/10, they're writing it as 130 over 100
Mhm.
or something crazy like that.
And I just passed out a little calendar. So today I was thinking, reflecting on Go Time as it was happening. So I'm going to restructure my Go Time for starting next week. So I just gave it to y'all in case you want to use it or lose it. It's up to you and your classroom and your needs. But I'm going to plan out the days I meet in certain groups, which we had already been doing. But I think I'm only going to let them work on a technology once a week, like one full Go Time day a week. So I'm going to specify which group will be on that. And then what they're not with me in a small group or they're not on technology, they're going to be working the Go Time papers because they've already been in a small group with me working. So they're just going to finish up the packet. Because in years past when I've done that, I would pull something separate over the small group and then have them practice something different. But they were so stressed out trying to get everything done. So I'm going to be, and this is why I love this resource, I was going to do like the first 3 just to show them, or show them a couple and then have them go try it on their own. So what is it? I do, we do, I do, or whatever you say. I do, we do. And then, so that's how I'm gonna start flowing my Go Time. So I show them and then they go practice on their
So
own.
say that the kids that are quicker, they finish all that and come to your small group, what will you do with them when they come to your small group?
I'll always have a backup, but those enriched pieces, I would find it enriched, especially for those high kids.
Just by having an
So
response
is
to the
group,
side.
like for instance, your group 6, is that your high?
Yeah, that's for my springboard. I have 6 groups in one of my springboard classes, so that would be my high kids. So I meet with them at the beginning of the week and then towards the end of the week just to make sure that they really are understanding. And I don't really try to pull anyone on Friday because that's going to be their time to work. And honestly, you're going to be meeting with kids more than just the 2 times because you'll be hitting it as they're working in the class. But so you got your intentional group meets and then you got your unintentional when you're helping them out in the classroom.
One to answer, like I tell like what I do right now, as far as that is concerned, like this week we had the front and the back. Monday I did like half the front with them, and then I said, you're gonna come to me with the front done, you're not doing